Alright traders, George here, and time for a look at gold and silver. Since the last video on gold, we were at 1165 then, and looking for more downside, we obviously moved down to the 1130, so quite a big drop from the last video, looking for that. But what's happened since is the bulls have come in and started to do some bottom feeding and some more severe short covering combined to see a couple of big pops here. And so now I've got a really interesting view of gold here. This is going back 60 days, and we're starting to get some new balance beams developing here. So 1144 at the bottom, then this range here, 1162, 67 spike, 71's the top end here, and then above 71 there's a pretty good sized air pocket. There's just not as much trading here, and this becomes a really important spot to watch. So this is now starting to become a tradable zone over 1171's to the long side, with this air pocket helping to pull price up. And you can see we've actually hit the 50% retrace of this sell impulse fib confluence with the 1.272, basically a 1-to-1 harmonic there, and price stalling out at about 1193. So we're currently 1190 here Sunday evening. And what I'm going to look for now is if we start to fade back here, will the bulls come in and start to prop this thing up? If we don't fade much at all and continue to rally, we're at right now at 1193s moving up in a $40 range here, where we're likely to see resistance come in if the bears have more work to do. Over about 1230 here would pretty much kill this bear impulse here, and we could actually see a new phase to upside in gold. But for right now, the thing to watch is at the level we're at right now, the next confluence zone here in the low 1200s, 1205s to about 1209s, and then we get to a much heavier traded zone here, 1217 to 1223 to 1229. All key areas to watch here, and this is really extremely critical for gold one way or another to prove itself out of these areas basically right now to establish who's in charge at these levels. After recovering from these new multi-year lows here, 3-year lows here down to 1130s, starting to see some pretty good pops here in gold, and will it hold? We've seen it in the past, but ultimately the bears have been able to take price below the key commitment areas. So if we happen to pull back here, watch for some more buy-side interest. If the bears start to get involved here and really step on it, watch for price to break below 62s. If it does, there's a good shot we're going to 44. Anything below 44 at this point, and we're likely going to be dropping about another 30 some odd dollars to about 1118s for the first initial downside target. But I'm looking for some, at least some short-term bull energy here in gold with this recent development. So bullish would be over 1171. These two white lines here correlate to the low of 1179 and then this low here of 1183. Those are two of the key 3 spike lows we had below 1200 over the last couple of years here at this attempt at a bottom. And every time we hit those 3, we popped up and actually had a pretty good rally off of those levels. This last go here, we broke to new structure lows altogether, and now we've returned up and we've taken over those 3 spike lows. So what were momentary spike lows in the pullbacks here have now been recovered. They haven't acted, well, they did act initially as resistance here, but right now the bulls are over that level. So sort of a compound area to watch here, 1179s and 1171 to act as support. See if price stays over that. That's a good leg up for the bulls right there. Moving through this air pocket, you got to expect key resistance here in the 1205 to 1209 zone, and then much more intense resistance here starting at 1217. But over 1230, things really open up, and I would expect a chip to 1243s at that point. Basically, a lot of the same key player price points on the way up as we saw on the way down. This is a real important turn here for gold. Whether it's short-lived or it turns into something more, we'll keep an eye on this week. And let me show you silver while I got you on the hook here, because I haven't showed silver in a while, and silver is doing something similar as well. For those of you that are actually trading this model here, my balance beams, I'm on a 60-day look back, gang. So 120-minute candles, 60-day look back. These are the key price points for silver. Did the same deal, broke to new structure lows here, but just recently developed a lot of new hot areas to watch. Many in the $15 camp here. The absolute low 1504s, we got 1536, 1565, and 15.99 is the key spikes here. We're at 16.34s here Sunday evening, so the bulls are keeping it north of 16. That's a key area to watch. If we break below that, look for the upper 1560s to act as support at the most, if not a little bit higher than that. Below 1565s would be real weak, very likely to retest these lows here. Anything below 15, get ready for a big sell-off in silver. But right now it looks like the bulls are trying to dig in here, some short covering combined, and it's just a matter of where we find support on a pullback. And if we don't pull back below 16s, we're at 1634s right now, a little nod to 47s, but we've got a huge air pocket north of where we are, and that makes it easier for price to move north. So with 16 holding, watch for 47 as a scalp target on the way up to basically 17 as the floor here, 23s as the spike, and then 1741 as the top line here. That would be something to consider as extreme overhead resistance if we're able to get up that high. If we do, we're very likely to put in a resistance swing there, and if the bulls come back at it, get back over 1741, that would, just like gold getting over 43s, would create a whole new bull phase for either one of these metals here. But both gold and oil showing some good pops after some real nasty lows coming, and really just a little bit lower than where they have just been would be the key areas to watch to hold for some strength. And on any continuations higher than these Sunday prints here that we've seen in Globex so far, very likely going to run through the air pockets up to the next key level. So there's your look at silver, and just one more peek at gold here before we end this video, just so you can see the same deal. Recent commitments, bulls taking that over, air pocket, chance to move up at a key fib confluence area right now, and from here, from 1193s on up to about 1229s, 1230s would be the range to expect the bears to come in and step on this thing if they've got more work to do. And if they don't do that, it's a golden opportunity, no pun intended here, for the gold bulls to take over 1230 and make their final push to 1243 and reverse the selling that we've seen here of late. All right, more updates on this in the live room. Go to the link at the bottom of this video and you can see how you can get into that room in the morning. We'll be talking about these charts plus many more for stocks, as well as some live day trading in the futures. So we'll see you back in the live room.